Hello friends, good morning or good evening or good day, for sure good day. Today I would like to show you how I'm pruning adeniums to look like this. Because many of you wrote in a comment section that you like this kind of adenium. I started a new one and a new one and a new one. This one has a little bit to go before it's gonna be that nice. And today I'm thinking of turning this one into that type. Usually what I do is I choose a cultivar that's very twiggy, and then here you can see I just prune this one. What I do usually is that first I do a pretty thick cut, or here you can see the original cut, pretty thick, and then I either periodically prune it like this, or I just periodically pinch the ones sticking out. I tried it both ways and it works either way. It also works by starting without of that initial cutting of a started earlier by without of initial strong cutting, but it takes longer. It works either way. The only thing that doesn't work is that if you do it with a adenium that's not naturally very twiggy, then it just doesn't create the canopy like that. When you look on crowns of different trees of different species, they don't have, most of the species don't have such a flat top of a crown. It's more of a cone or half ball. But when I left the adenium to grow unpruned like this one, you can see that it has pretty flat top. Here is one that was never pruned in a bigger and bigger pot, and same thing happened if I had one in a ground. Let me show you. Here it is in a ground, and again you can see that naturally the top is just a little bit higher than the sides. And adenium is not the only one. Oh, one more thing I was going to show you. Because of this, I'm starting to prune like that. Not just my broccoli type of adeniums, but also my micro broccoli types of adeniums. It'll take a year or two or three to look real nice. But anyway, here are my pruned projects of micro broccoli adeniums starting. And here are some non-pruned. And adeniums are not the only ones who like to have such a flattish crown. We have here on the island monkey pot that often does it, and when I look at the internet there are other species. Let me show you. You Google it on the internet, you can see here is a monkey pot that often is relatively flattish crown, but also other species of trees, of perennials, are naturally growing like this. Okay, so as I said, because many of you, just like me, like this form, and also because it grows more compact and slow, so it's easy to lift and transplant. I started few more, but because it's less job and blooms more profusely, especially in spring, I left two unpruned to see what'll happen. One in the ground, one in a bigger and bigger pot, but like it or not, I have to do the treatment with those because I can't lift a heavier pot than this. And the one in the ground, if it ever has to move with me, wouldn't fit into anything that's manageable to lift for even several people. And so I'm gonna have to do today the cut, the first cut. And so you can see how it looks. Here is one that I tried to do more like a half bowl, and it just, I don't know, maybe a few years from now, I don't know, but so far it's pretty, but it doesn't get that density of twigs like when it is grown with a crown of its natural shape, which is way more flattish on top. Okay, let me turn off camera and do some of those first cuts, and then I need two hands, so then I'll show you how it's going. Okay, so here you can see pruning half done. First pruning. I'm trying not to go too low because after I prune the other half, after it's all pruned, then I can ask myself, do I want to go a little lower or not? I can't go low and then go a little higher, right? I can just go high and then a little lower. Okay, let me turn off camera and continue. Okay, done for now. First cut. And all the subsequent cuts or pinches or pinchings would be tiny bit higher. The twigs on the bottom, shorter twigs, would get more light now, so some of them will catch up with the top, so there'll be more twigs. Plus, the thick cuts will create many branches, many twigs, which will be cut a tiny bit higher, and so this would all fill in creating something like this. Later on. Okay, end of initial pruning, and now I'm gonna do the same thing with even a little bigger one that grew a little bigger because it was grown in the ground. I build up a little mound so it'll be higher, so when it's raining in winter, it'll have a better drainage, it wouldn't rot the roots. But now it's time to start slowing it down. So here we go. The big spring blooming is over. The big leaf growing is starting, so this might be the best time to do it. And again, this half is pruned, this half I'll continue. To create that initial cut. Okay, done. The initial pruning of a future Adenium bonsai. I might dig it out, and the roots might be too big. Too deep. I might have to cut the roots and dry the cuts before planting. Here I had one, you see the hole, and here I have another big one. They're not the twiggy ones, I'm gonna grow them differently, but I show you how I dug one out and cut the roots and dried. The very large bonsai pots are very expensive, but in hardware store they sell these containers. I think it's for mixing I think it's for mixing concrete. It cost only $10, and I cut the drainage holes and plant the bonsai in it. So I'll show you. Let me show you. See, here I'm cutting the roots. I'm drying the roots of a Adenium plant I dug out over there, and I purchased the hello cat. I purchased the container in a hardware store. Yeah, I'm right that it's for mixing concrete. Okay. And the plastic is pretty soft, so it's easy to cut the drainage holes in it. And then I'll put the screen on the bottom from, this kind of material. And voila, I'm gonna have this kind of Adenium, but larger. So my friends, thank you very much for accompanying me in first pruning of two very large desert roses. If you didn't subscribe to this channel and you lasted this long in the video, then you probably like the video. So maybe you can subscribe, because there is more to come. Goodbye.